Pressure on markets, of course, any damage on Wall Street overnight. A lot of question marks, uncertainty, fear, worry over this huge rescue package for Wall Street. How does this all impact China specifically? Our next guest says the situation will continue to hurt markets like China, but longer term, though, investor appetite for U.S. investments will decrease and China will gain more prominence. Joseph Meuse is president at Belmont Partners, a financial advisory. He joins me right here on set now. Joseph, good morning. Great to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so market reaction to Wall Street out here in Asia as well. This whole rescue package, apparently, market's not buying it. It's not going to work.
Turns out you can't just keep printing money, right? I mean, it's a real problem. There's a lot of fear in the U.S. and in the markets, and that to me is the biggest issue. You can't implement logical solutions when there's fear in the market and certainly uncertainty in the market.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. So until this package gets approved by Congress, I think there's going to continue to be uncertainty and fear, and that's going to continue to make the markets unstable.
Okay, and it's not just a question of funding, how they're going to pay for it, how much of a burden it's going to put on U.S. taxpayers, but more also that fundamentally does not address the underlying issues, the problems, that is A, the housing market, and B, this whole problem of corporates and U.S. individuals being over-leveraged.
Right, absolutely. And I think for the first time, at least that I've seen in America, people are concerned about the deficit. People are concerned about the budget. They're wondering how they're going to pay for all this. And the implications are huge. I mean, not only, so I got the news of Goldman and Morgan becoming essentially commercial banks somewhere on my flight between Alaska and Tokyo. I mean, this stuff is happening, stuff is happening overnight. That's going to be in our system for the next 30, 40, or 50 years. I mean, it's a lot of decisions to make in a very short period of time.
Okay, let's talk about this transformation then. The last two titans on Wall Street, Morgan, Goldman, they've gone away now. They've become commercial banks under the protection of the Fed. That's the good news, and with access to the Fed discount window, Fed funding. But this was a move driven obviously by fear.
I think it was definitely by fear. Now, there's the short selling, the ban on short selling, which evaporates, I believe, on October 2nd.
They're probably watching that pretty closely.
Absolutely, right? So this is their window to be able to get some protection. I think it was a very smart move. They're able to get under the umbrella, so to speak, of the Fed, under the protection of the Fed, and get money. Now, there's a positive spin to it that they're going to be able to take deposits and get stronger. And I think long term, I think that's great. But in the short term, I think it was all driven out of fear and concern that short selling ban is going to stop on October 2nd. And not be renewed.
Okay, Morgan taking that 20% stake, or allowing MUF Japan to take that 20% stake.
I think it's a great move. I think it's a great move, and I think it's going to happen more and more. So I think there's great opportunity out in the marketplace right now. There's certainly blood in the streets, and that's where you can make some money if you know what you're doing. And a lot of the Asian investment banks have money, right? They have capital. The opportunity to step into the vacuum that's created by all the U.S. investment banks that are literally evaporating and get in on the cheap.
Oh, come on. But Macquarie down under in Australia, Babcock and Brown, these guys are getting hammered.
So when there's a down market like this, I think there's an excellent opportunity, and I think what we're going to find is that as it relates to the China market, that the Asian investment banks and the Asian market are going to rely less on U.S. investment banks and more on the regional banks.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's the long term that's going to play out here.
Okay, let's talk about the China connection here. You think that Morgan and Goldman becoming commercial lenders is going to increase their power and ambition in China? We've talked about the mother lode, the pot at the end of the rainbow on this show for many months now, and that is Wall Street banks have been long hungrily eyeing the billions of dollars in pensions that need to be managed in China. How is this going to help them get in on that?
Well, it's just quite simply, a lot of their competition on the U.S. side, it's gone, right? Okay. So it's a matter of the numbers. Now I'm competing against, Goldman's competing against Morgan on the U.S. side, and that's it. And I think the idea of being protected by the Fed, which is how this comes across, right, by being kind of somewhat blessed by the Fed, maybe that's the wrong term to use, that they're going to have strength long-term, credibility long-term. So certainly from their perspective, they're trying to get through the immediate cash issue, but long-term, I think they're going to be the two players that are going to be left standing.
I mean, meantime, the Chinese authorities are watching what's happening on Wall Street with more than a little bit of interest because, hey, guys, you got a lot of my money.
Right, absolutely. And I think long-term, what that means is the U.S. is going to be competing more and more with China for $1 of investment, right? So people are going to say, well, maybe the U.S. isn't the safe haven anymore. Maybe I'll take my €1 and I'll put some of it in China. I'll put some of it in the U.S. I mean, there's going to be, I think, a real shift that takes place. Hopefully, it's a wake-up call in the U.S. The other thing I think is interesting is that this crisis, I believe, has pretty much guaranteed that Obama is going to win the election. Not many people are talking about that, but I think that's got incredible implications moving forward, right? I mean, so many things that are going on in this period of time. It's quite amazing.
Absolutely. Within 10 days, in fact.
That's right.
Joe, great to talk to you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Great, thank you.
All right, we've been talking to Joseph Meuse there, president at Belmont Partners Financial Advisory, right here live on set with us. All right, we're counting down the start of trade up.